We see in Acts 28, Paul continuing right to the end of this book to live sent. And the first thing we're going to see is that Paul lived sent in unexpected situations. We're going to read the whole chapter, but then we'll read the first part right now. Once safely ashore, go back to last week. In Acts 27, we see that Paul was in the middle of yet another shipwreck. I say yet another shipwreck because I think this was his fourth one that he had been part of. Yes, this is the fourth shipwreck that Paul had been part of. And they survived and they ended up on Malta. So we learn that the island was called Malta. The local people showed us extraordinary kindness. They lit a fire, took us all in since it was raining and cold. As Paul gathered a bundle of brushwood and put it on the fire, I'm going to pause there. This is Paul that has seen God use him in extraordinary ways. And he's part of this shipwreck. They get on shore to Malta, and people are gathering wood for the fire, and we still see Paul serving. He's not thinking, I'm above this. Okay, we need to gather fire for the fire, or wood for the fire, and he goes and do it. So as Paul gathered a bundle of brushwood, put it on the fire, a viper came out because of the heat and fastened itself on his hand. I mean, if you're Paul, you got to be going, seriously? Seriously? Listen to the things he had been through. He wrote this in 2 Corinthians. He said, this is before what we're reading this morning. He says, 5 times I received 40 lashes minus 1 from the Jews. The Jews believe if you lash someone 40 times, it would kill them. And Paul is saying 5 times he got lashed 39 times. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I received a stoning. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I've spent a night and a day in the open sea. On frequent journeys I faced dangers from rivers, robbers, my own people, Gentiles, non-Jewish people, dangers in the city, dangers in the wilderness, dangers at sea, dangers among false brothers, toil and hardship, sleepless nights, hunger, thirst, often without food and in the cold and without clothing sometimes. This is what Paul has already been through. He's now shipwrecked for a 4th time. He's helping build a fire, and a viper comes out, and it says attaches itself to his hand. If you're Paul, you're thinking, what in the world is going on here? Let's keep going. When the local people saw the snake hanging from his hand, they said to one another, this man no doubt is a murderer. Even though he has escaped the sea, justice has not allowed him to live. They assumed he was going to die, of course. But he shook the snake off into the fire and suffered no harm. They expected that he would begin to swell up or suddenly drop dead. As they waited for a long time and saw nothing unusual happen to him, they changed their minds and said he was a god. Interesting observation here, how quickly the peanut gallery goes from he's a murderer to he must be a god. Both things were false assumptions, but it's just funny how quickly public opinion in any given situation can change on you, can swing on you, right? Now, verse 7, in the area around that place was an estate belonging to the leading man of the island named Publius, who welcomed us and entertained us hospitably for 3 days. Publius' father was in bed suffering from fever and dysentery. Paul went to him, praying and laying hands on him. He healed him. After this, the rest of those on the island who had diseases also came, and they were healed. So they heaped many honors on us, and when we sailed, they gave us everything we needed. After 3 months, we set sail in an Alexandrian ship that had wintered at the island with the twin gods as its figurehead. Putting in at Syracuse, we stayed 3 days. From there, after making a circuit along the coast, we reached the Rhegium. After 1 day, a south wind sprang up. The 2nd day, we came to Puteoli. There we found brothers and sisters and were invited to stay a week with them, and so we came to Rome. Now the brothers and sisters from there had heard the news about us and had come to meet us as far as the Forum of Appius and the 3 taverns. When Paul saw them, he thanked God and took courage. The first thing we see is Paul living sent in unexpected situations. Never would have expected a shipwreck. Never would have expected that as he gathered wood for a fire, there would be a viper attached to his hand. He never would have expected that he would have an influence in that situation. And no matter what's going on, we see the same thing in Acts 28 as we saw in Acts 27, and the same thing as we saw in 26 and 25 and 24 and 23, all the way back to chapter 9 when he first came to Christ. We see him living sent. He does not stop, even when he's in the midst of unexpected situations. And sometimes we can be in an unexpected situation, and it could be something we never saw coming, or it could be something that has gone wrong or sideways in our lives, or we could be on vacation somewhere and thinking, I just want to sit on the beach and not talk to anybody. And trust me, even as someone standing before you, who stands before you often up here to speak, there are definitely times when I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to sit. And we all feel that way. But we cannot predict when something extraordinary might happen. Sometimes it's the unexpected situations, whether bad or good, that can lead to remarkable ministry. Think about Joseph. Man, sold into slavery by his brothers. Can you imagine that? They had plotted to kill him and decided not to do that. They can't do that. They had boundaries, I guess. So the brothers sell him into slavery. And he goes and he starts to build a life for himself in Egypt, and then he's thrown into prison when he's falsely accused of rape. And he's sitting in prison, and things happen that should have gotten him out, and he doesn't get out. And it keeps saying over and over in the story of Joseph in Genesis, in the book of Genesis, it keeps saying, but God was with Joseph in all of this. And I don't know about you, but if I get thrown into prison falsely accused of rape after having been sold into slavery by my own brothers, I don't know that I feel that God is with me at that point, right? Craig Edmonds is on staff here at New Life, and as we've been talking more and more about what it looks like to live sent, I have loved watching him try to apply this in his life. I love it. And when he says he's been the most fruitful, the times lately he's had some stuff he's dealt with medically and working through, and he's had to spend some time in the hospital and in the dentist's office, and over he has opportunities to talk about the Lord in the doctor's office, when he's recuperating, when he's been in the dentist, walking into the dentist's office or out. In these times, he said he doesn't love being in there, but those have been the best times of ministry he's seen in the last year. That's remarkable. My daughter Megan gave birth last week to our third grandchild. So thank you very much. Thank you. I didn't do anything. Don't clap for me. We're clapping for Megan. But it was an unbelievable joy to be with them throughout this process. And when she's in the most intense part of giving birth to her baby son, her and Luke's baby son, Isaiah, cutest baby ever. Sorry to all of you parents out there. Most intense part, she looks at the nurse and says, the one, or the anesthesiologist, or whoever's right next to her where she's lying, and says, do you believe in God? And the nurse says, I do. And Megan starts crying and says, how can you not? And the nurse started crying with her. And the nurse said, I'm not supposed to be the one crying right now. And even in the midst of that, we have opportunities in unexpected circumstances. Sometimes those circumstances that we never see coming are great things that happen. Great things that happen. Last fall, well before the NCAA basketball season started, High Point University, like every university basketball team in America, at some point they have a discussion with all the players, what number do you want to wear this year? And a guy named Chase Johnston for High Point University decided he was going to switch from number 2 to number 99. And he had reasons that we'll talk about in a second. But that's before the season ever starts. And Chase could not have seen, when he decided to switch from 2 to 99, that at the end of the season, in the biggest game he's ever played in, that he would score the final 5 points of High Point's massive upset of Wisconsin the other night. Let's watch this video right now. This is amazing. We'll pause there. National television, NCAA tournament. Chase Johnson has got the announcer talking about the parable of Jesus that Jesus told about the shepherd that would leave the 99 to find the one. It's why he made his jersey number 99. Listen to what he had to say about it. He said, here's the backstory. It has everything to do with Jesus and his willingness to leave the 99 to find the one. I was trying to find a way to share the gospel, and 99 came to my mind. A lot of people will ask, why are you number 99? It's a unique number. Not many people wear it. So I chose it because the parable in the Bible And that's the gospel, right? That we are all sinners and we need Jesus to come find us because we have strayed. The forethought there is so brilliant. Now, this is a kid that shot 68 of 138 from three-point range this year. He shot 138 threes, made 68 of them, 12 more than anyone else on his team. And he had not made one basket inside the three-point line all year. He was 0 for 4 inside. For those of you that know basketball, those stats together are crazy. And so that bucket is his first two-point basket of the entire season, and it's the game-winning basket against Wisconsin. But what I notice about that video, what I love about that video, is that even before he had any idea that he would score the game-winning bucket on national television in NCAAs against a really good team, he was thinking proactively, what can I do? I could be 99. Up until a few years ago, you weren't allowed to be 99. All the numbers on a basketball jersey had to be 5 or under, so the officials could say 25 or 15 or 41, but you can't, that takes more hands when you get over 9, but they changed the rules. I don't know of any other basketball player that's ever been 99. But he was bold and he was not ashamed, and God has opened up doors. He was on Barstool Sports sharing the gospel. He was in the interview after the game. He did another interview where I saw where he just spent a long time talking about his faith. God opens up doors, but we need to be prepared when those doors open, right? The fact that he had foresight to think, he had no idea what God would do with this, but God used it in amazing ways. And we cannot predict when we might be put in an extraordinary situation and have an opportunity to stand up for our faith. We saw a college kid living sent. Paul in Acts 28 lived sent in unexpected circumstances. He endured. He did not stop.